Hi, my name is Peggy Oberthier, and I'm a medical intuitive based in Melbourne, Australia. I'm very fortunate today to have Laura Jennings join us today to talk a little bit about her experience working as an ICU nurse. So she's not only an ICU nurse, she's a health and wellness coach, she's a veteran, and she's trained in this incredible modality of hands-on healing. And she just completed the mentorship with Patrice Christofiak and Amy Matthews as well. Welcome to the show, Laura.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I'm so excited. You're so welcome. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to tell the audience a little bit about your incredible background and how you got to where you are today. So tell us a little bit about your journey.
Well, let's see. I served 8 years in United States Army Reserve, and we were got deployed. And after deployment, I currently had my licensed practical nurse, and then I came back to the States and went back to school for my registered nurse, and then started working in the hospital. Then they opened up a position in the ICU, and so I decided that that's sounded great. So I went for that. After that, I just noticed that I had a lot of pain in my body after the deployment. We saw a lot of stuff. And what is that? Like, why am I in pain? So started the journey. Like, you go to a doctor, you go to a chiropractor, they say, hey, you want to try acupuncture? Sure. So these modalities, it was helpful. That was nice. They'd work for a minute and then they didn't. And then started watching podcasts, and people are getting healed by energy stuff like the body code and like muscle testing and intuition and moving emotions and talking about sensitive things like you have something in your heart, and what age do you feel comes, and then I will think of a number in my head, and yeah, then we go in there and lo and behold, something happened at the age of 12 or that I didn't process or didn't know how to process because you stuff it down, you know um, working through emotions.
Mm.
Then the Balance and Healing Network offered training for hands-on healing. I took that class. That sounded very interesting. It turns out that humans, we have like a subtle energy field within and around us, and hands-on healing helps you and the client be able to process that energy to balance whatever hormone or um not hormone blockages or some emotion, something that was stuck, something that the person experienced that they weren't able to process. Yeah, and
Wow,
so
that's
very
incredible. So the hospital actually paid for you to do that training.
they
Even
did. Yeah,
wow.
they
And
came in
what
and
is the
supported.
evidence about that? So this is the federal government paying for ICU nurses and nurses in a federal government to work with veterans, and they got trained
Mhm.
in this hands-on healing. What are some of the evidence behind this hands-on
Yeah,
healing?
they did all kinds of surveys. So many people, they would fill out, okay, so before the session, what's your pain score? So they could evidentially have a scoring system. And after the session, the pain was gone. Severely, a lot of, if not gone, then dramatically reduced.
Wow.
Anxiety. They had a gentleman that he was having nightmares. He still was having flashbacks from Vietnam. After a session, the dreams were gone. One
Wow.
session,
Wow.
and he was able to sleep all night.
Wow.
Yeah, these
Uh,
are documented testimonies.
wow. So tell me, like when you do this work, I'm going to ask you about the mentorship in a bit, but like, let's just focus on, have you always been spiritual? I mean, what are the energies and what are you working with? Like, anyway, there's a lot of questions there. Tell me a little bit how you came to, because I'm sure that you were probably just sitting and probably doing your own version of hands-on healing and praying for patients prior to,
Oh, absolutely, without knowing it. yeah, Christian based. We were Christians, raised in the church. Then yeah, that's pretty much the spiritual growth of just learning and learning through that. But there's so many parts of the Bible that like the church doesn't talk about. Like when we'd go to church, like where's the miracles? Where's the, Jesus did miracles. Jesus healed immediately, and greater things you shall do
Mm.
after he leaves, right? Yeah, so I wanted that. I felt this pull, like there's got to be more. There's all these gifts of, how he's talking in tongues when you're baptized by the Holy Spirit. Yeah, where is that? Let's do that. But
Sign
yeah,
me sign me up for that. Yeah. So tell me a
yeah.
little bit about some of your experiences using this. I know that you have a story with a colleague and how you kind of discovered it.
Yeah, so baby steps, just learning. I'm always wanting to help, but yeah, let's do some practice, right? So a coworker had mentioned that her back hurt, and I was like, ding ding. I was like, hey, can I just touch your back? Would that be okay if I prayed for you? And she said yes. I said, can I touch your back? Reluctantly, yes, yes, you can touch my back. So I did, and I checked in. I closed my eyes and I prayed. I asked God to allow me to be a conduit of His healing. I went into a state of gratitude, thankful that given this opportunity, that was amazing. So I put my hands on her back, and my hands got warm. They were warm, and I noticed that was interesting. So I'm starting to feel energy in my hands. And afterwards, she had said, "Yeah, my back was hot." So when the heat subsided, I intuitively knew to stop. And I asked her, I was like, "So what do you think? How do you feel?" She started crying.
Wow.
I was like, she said, "I have no pain. The pain is gone." And I was like, this is real. Like, is this real? This is real. Then all of a sudden I felt energy and an energy shift from my feet up my body. It was like goosebumps, tingling, like you just slathered yourself with menthol, tingly, minty, like, and it's in waves and and it was so intense. There was so much energy. I had to jump up and down. I couldn't sit still. And it
Wow.
was like I was hooping, whoo, 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 yeah, hooping and jumping around. And my coworkers started looking and like, "Are you okay?" And I, the Holy Spirit got a hold of me, and I didn't care what I looked like. It felt amazing.
Wow.
I was having some grief over the loss of my father, and it,
Um,
I, a little winter depression. It was gone. I was so full of love. Wow, that was amazing. So
that,
that was like I felt 10 feet tall. It was
wow.
great. Yeah.
Wow. That's such an incredible story. And I think your visceral experience of that somatic reaction is like, I think people who do this energy work can relate to that because you can feel it. Your hands tingle, your body gets goosebumpy. It's like this expansion. It's a really beautiful feeling. And what I love about your story is that you just got out of the way and you were just like, let me be a conduit. And the other thing that I like was that we always have to ask permission. We you can't go around just healing people without asking, right? It's like there has to be this exchange.
Yeah. Some people don't want to, because I have
Mm.
asked and they didn't want to. And I was like, oh, you don't want to? Because I'm not there. But yes, there is, yeah, you have to ask permission.
So
Boundaries.
wow. So you use these techniques with your ICU patients as well. Wow.
Yes,
So tell
yes.
us a few stories about what's happened with patients.
Yeah, especially when they're open to it. Obviously, I had a gentleman that he said he's had all arthritis for years, several years. He broke his arm, and he allowed me to do hands-on healing. So I, same thing, just asked him permission and put my hands on the painful area, and we sat there and it got warm, and then he said, "There's no pain." And I was
Wow.
like, "There's no pain?" Yeah.
Yeah. Such
Several little instances like that. I had a guy that he was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever. You can't make it any worse." Like, that's the spirit. So, also a lot of times we go, yeah, like I'll start down at the feet and work my way up, each of the joints and the chakras. Yeah, I got to his hip. He had a hip replacement a while back, and it just wasn't right. He just didn't have the right range of motion, and it got like hot, hot. It was getting very hot. And he got very nervous about it. And he's like, "What are you doing? What is that? Stop. Why is it so hot?" And I was like, okay, it's fine. It's energy and it goes where it needs to go. We can stop at any time. And that's fine."
Wow. Yeah, I think some people, when they don't understand the power of it, can be a bit freaked out. With I've had a couple of clients that have just gone, "Whoa, what's happening?" So you have to kind of really
Yeah.
warn people at the start that you could experience these things. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's pretty amazing. So this is so the project paid for this. So tell us a little bit about that training before we dive into the mentorship. What did you
Uh,
actually learn? Because and how everyone's like, I want that too. I'm sure there's a lot of nurses that are saying, I want to do that too. So tell us about the training.
yeah, we did 2 full days, and we just learned the basics of general energy, meditation, quieting your mind, being mindful with that. Also grounding, where you mentally tune in your body, you go into the earth, several modalities, but it's this energy exchange with the earth, and then balancing the chakras, the main 7 ones in your body, and then connecting to God, the light. And we each kind of do our own version of what works. I just imagine the light coming down through my body and filling me up with light, to remove negativity. Uh, those are the main points of the beginning. Because you yourself have to be balanced in order to help your patients balance.
Hmm.
And then we learned what, like, the dance, right? The techniques. Where do you start? How do you place your hands? How long do you do that? What are you doing when you're placing your hands? And usually it's just you clear your mind. You're not controlling anything. You're not moving your mind. You're not making anything happen. You are emptying yourself to allow God to come through you for whatever is needed.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
we learned different techniques like the pain drain
yeah.
on certain areas of how to move your hands, and pain coming out of the body, but also you're not absorbing any of it. You're just moving it and releasing it.
Mm,
Also a cleansing when you're done, because you're done, you're cleansing, it's off, how to
yeah.
stop the
Mhm.
session.
And how do you do that cleansing at the end of your sessions, your hands
Usually
on?
it's just you're done, and then washing your hands. But
Mm,
if like if you're in a room without the water, you're just doing this, and then you're breaking with your hands.
setting the
Just the
intention.
motion, the
Yeah.
intention. Mhm.
Amazing. So how did you end up discovering like the mentorship program with Patrice Christofiak and the medical intuitive? So you work in the hospital with veterans, you're doing this amazing work. How did you come about with that? Tell us a bit.
Isn't it called like the rabbit hole, when you
Oh, up and down that rabbit hole.
I love podcasts. I love anything different. Like what is that about? I'm so curious. There's just so many interesting things of, like what people can't see, and what people know. And I came across a podcast, and Patrice was on there, and he talked about his journey and how, like, it all unfolded And I was like, that is amazing. I went on his
Mm.
website and I applied, and yeah, he said, come on. And I said, let's go.
That's incredible. So we just published the last episode with Patrice describing what the mentorship's all about. So if anybody's interested in that, just look at the previous episode to kind of get a full picture. But let's hear about your own personal experience about that mentorship program and what you discovered about yourself and your gifts.
He helps with confidence. There's this something about being with a group of people that are like-minded. So you're no longer the weird one. Everyone is accepting, and there's no expectations.
Mhm.
It's like there's no rules, per se. Like you don't have to show up and have this and this and this. It's more of like developing what yours is, because not everybody's the same. Everyone
Mm.
will bring something different, which what a beautiful recipe, right? Like you don't want all one ingredient, right?
Yeah.
And so having the group with one person being able to do this, and so many people's gifts were coming online as we were going. And then we would build on so like energy clearing. People would burp, yawn. I started doing that. And it was clearing energy. It's clearing the air. And so I can do that. I can but being in a group, everybody's burping and yawning, it's great. But if you're at a dinner party and can't stop yawning, it's like it's
Yeah.
learning.
Yeah. Oh, I can
Yeah,
relate to that. Yeah, there's an area in my gym. Oh my goodness. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. I think I'm cleaning that gym and I just can't stop yawning. And people are going, how can you work out with all that yawning and burping? Anyway, I'm like, I'm cleaning you.
yes, if they
Some,
only knew.
yeah, I know it's hard. And you're like, I'm not bored. I'm actually just cleaning. So that's really fascinating. So I know that you had some pain yourself. And then so talk to like working in a hospital is heavy work, right? It is heavy.
Yeah.
Energetically, it's super heavy.
Learning energetic boundaries.
Mm.
The amazing thing about doing Patrice's mentorship is because we were doing weekly cleanings, my pain was gone. Like,
Wow.
what is that? It's energy. So I'm energetically, learning my energy boundaries of
Mm.
wrapping, like before I go into work, putting a bubble or a cell membrane, right? Like in
Mm.
biology, a cell membrane is like the wall is semi-permeable. So it allows nutrients in, but it releases what no longer serves you. So sometimes I'll be like, ooh, it's gonna be, you just know it's gonna be a heavy day. I'll put on a imaginary bulletproof vest, protect the
Love it.
front and the back, right? Because policemen do it and they,
Yeah.
makes you feel safe.
Yeah.
Energy clearing. Every day I will, when I'm in the shower, I will think of a shower from heaven and washing away all the negative anything that is not mine. That's usually, yeah, anything that is not
Yeah.
mine must leave now. And
Yeah. It's
yeah,
quite a difficult task for such a heart-centered person because you just I can see and I feel your energy. It's like you want to help everyone. And I guess that setting those boundaries is like it's such a learning curve for a lot of people in this work, isn't it? It's like you
it
gotta
is. Well, it's that savior complex. I have good intentions. I want to help. It's a drive. It's a pull. Like I want to leave this planet better than I found it. And
Mm.
but yet, you gotta, again, boundaries. Everybody has boundaries. So, not going in there and be like, I know what you need. Like settle down.
Mm. So there's a particular approach that you use, and it's tell us about like you know what goes through your head when you're I think it's so heart-centered, but when you're working with veterans, because you spoke about that savior complex, and a lot of people want to go like, I'm here to save you. What is your mindset when you're walking in there and helping them in that, you can see someone in significant pain. what is your approach? I mean, you've got your bulletproof vest on, you've got your you got all that stuff, but I think there's a
Usually
real,
starts
yeah, go ahead, because
no,
I
usually
think there's a lot of stuff our listeners can gather from this particular way of looking
yeah, I
at it.
don't start off with a sales pitch with it. It starts off with a conversation of how comfortable they are and what knowledge they have. I usually just kind of start off with, "Oh, you're having some pain. Are you open to inner energy healing? Are you open to hands-on healing?" It's something that is provided by this facility. It is, it's not something I made up. It's a legitimate practice that is supported, and to explain a little bit about it, and especially if they don't know about it. Some people they do know about it and they're very open to it, and they're yes, let's do that. Some are not. So then it's just like, well, do you want me to give you, like if their back hurts, do you want me to give you a massage real quick because
Wow.
like that's something that they're comfortable with. Do you need some pain cream? We can get you some, whatever. But yeah, so just start off nice and easy and kind of explain what it is, and it doesn't take very long. It's maybe
Mm,
10-15 minutes. I mean, we can go longer, but usually somebody else's call light goes off or something. So yeah, we
yeah.
usually do down and dirty.
Yeah, wow. So it's like these veterans, a lot of them have PTSD. And so
Mhm.
how does the PTSD manifest in the body, you think? What is the
That
role of
is,
those
yeah.
emotions? Yeah, what's your theory on that?
So that's based on people's experiences, those are the distortions and the blockages. Those are emotions
Mm,
and they're stuck.
mm,
Um, I understand that a lot because I think that's like a lot of the pain as well when you're
mm,
processing other people's emotions and it's
mm,
in there in your body and it comes out as pain. It comes out as, as the symptoms of trauma or the lens that they're seeing life through, right? And being able to talk to them on that, like it opens up a whole different
mm,
door of like what we're talking about. Like it's not your fault. It's not you. It's
mm,
what happened, and let's see if, like with their permission, and they're assisting, like they're the ones doing the healing. I am not.
mm,
I'm just
mm,
merely being a bridge or having the discussion or giving them the education or the opportunity to heal themselves.
mm.
Yeah, to move that stagnant energy and clear it on out.
Yeah. Well, I think you downplay your role a little bit, Laura, because your incredible heart space allows that person to feel so, relaxed and safe. And
Yeah, I've heard that.
yeah, of course you have. And I've got goosebumps when I just say that because I can imagine these veterans. And what I love about energy work, and we spoke about this on previous shows, that, with the traditional talk therapy, you have to kind of go through it all and talk about it. But this is like, boom, let's just take it out of the body, right? It's just like a direct
Mhm.
line, bang. Um,
Yeah, we get to just sitting there and talking with them. It's amazing how like something will come up and it just one leads to another, kind of this connection of dot. They want to talk about it. It does. It helps with the processing of deep-seated emotions that are in there because there for a time they weren't allowed to talk about
mm,
it. So, yeah.
yeah. Well, it's amazing that the federal government is funding this and getting it, helping veterans and beautiful people like you getting your training in this. And so you've got a health and wellness training as well. And tell me a little bit about how you got into that and how that impacts your work or yourself.
Uh, yeah, it's another tool, right? For whole health. I thought, why not be able to back up a part of nutrition? Nutrition's so important. I've read so many books on psychiatrists using nutrition versus actual, before using medicine. Not that medicine's not important, but maybe doing some nutritional uh bolstering will help with certain issues, and it's been proven that sometimes that's exactly what they need because there's deficiencies. Yeah, I did functional nutrition analysis. They had a year-long program that discussed different of like getting to the root. So if your skin is itching, instead of giving you a cream for the itching, let's see what's causing the itching.
Mm,
And it's like a root cause analysis of what versus giving you something for the symptoms, finding out what are the symptoms from.
yeah, I think that's the future of health, isn't it? It's
I
I
hope
think that
so.
yeah, I think this, and I've gone through the functional medicine route with a particular nutritionist, and it certainly has, transformed my gut microbiome and my vitality.
Yeah.
So it's all related, isn't it? So you can
Yeah.
combine the putting your feeding your body with some amazing food and then looking after your energetic body. It's like this, it marries beautifully. So I want to hear about what's in store for the future for you, Laura. Like, where do you see the future of hands-on healing? What, what's your vision?
Yeah, the after taking the medical intuition course, I just want to keep pursuing that. I feel like that's like the next step because it leads into uh, a knowing. There's just so many different things because this needs this and this needs this, and I want to have many tools.
Mm,
And if there's a way that I can intuitively help somebody because it's because they've seen this doctor, this doctor, this doctor, this doctor, been there, done
mm,
that. And they're seeking, they're wanting, they're changing their diet, they're changing their lifestyle. We're getting rid of all the toxins and the endocrine blockers, and we're doing all pure ingredients. And this isn't working. And I changed my diet completely, and this isn't working. What is it? Well, let's see what that is. And so, yeah, I'm definitely, yeah, I'm pursuing the medical intuition path, and we'll see where that leads.
that's incredible. Have you always had these gifts? Like, going back, like if just thinking about listeners going, well, you were working an ICU nurse and then you did the hands-on healing. What do you think gave you, like, certainly not everybody who did that training is doing what you're doing.
Well, I don't know. I haven't,
Yeah.
we haven't
Well,
like
yeah.
took
You haven't
notes, but
yeah, but it'd be
I don't,
interesting.
yeah, I don't know. That's really good. Like, I know I can remember instances where there was something and you downplay it. Like, you don't believe
Uh,
yourself, you don't listen, and then you find out hearsay, right? Like, that's what that was.
uh,
Oh, that's what that was. When you do something and it says, no, don't go there. And you're like, and you go ahead and you go down the road that you're not supposed to go down. And then you find out. Those are great lessons and
mm,
please don't stop talking to me. I promise I'll listen. Give me another opportunity. Give me
yeah.
another, uh, so yeah, listening to that inner voice of, yeah.
So
So
yours,
I've had opportunities and I've
so y-
listened.
so your gifts come in like it's almost like a thought, or is it an
Hmm.
actual voice? Can you hear something?
Oh, it's my thought. It's me. It sounds like me. It sounds like any other thought. The only thing is it it it'll repeat if I don't listen. It'll come in again.
Yeah.
And then now I've learned, oh, it's
Yeah.
repeated. Also I will feel physical pain in my body, and
Mm,
I after I leave a room, the pain goes away. That wasn't mine. And so like learning that part of not all pain is mine. And so asking, is that my pain? Is that my pain? So yeah,
yeah.
I can feel physical pain and
Yeah, so that's actually very similar to how I experienced it as well. And that can be confusing. So, at the start of your journey and you get this clear cognizance, which is just that comes in as a thought, and
Mhm.
you're just like, well, hang on, other people can see energies and they're looking at, purple things flying across the room, or angels, or I mean, people seeing all sorts of stuff. Um,
Yeah.
and then it comes in as knowing, and then I get the mirrored symptoms as well. So you sit there, you're going, do you have a pain in your neck? Because I got the pain in my neck too. And so
Yeah, it's a
then
fun game.
it's a fun game, especially when you're in a room. and you're like, who's got that pain in their neck? I'm
I've done
getting
that.
I'm getting better at it now. I'm like, it's your pain,
Mhm.
but that can be that's good that so you've got those mirrored symptoms and you've got that clear cognizance, and that's just the beginning of your beautiful gifts and journey. So it's just been such an honor to hear your story, Laura. And I am like, is there anything else that you want to leave the listeners with in terms of your incredible wisdom and experience? No pressure. I know you don't like that.
Oh, yeah, no pressure.
You don't want any compliments. I know that, but anyway, you're
I do one little fun thing is to learn what is a yes and a no in your body. I think that that's important to know when you're discerning certain things, and learning what that feels like and how that shows up. A little practice that I started with was asking yourself a question that you do know the answer to. Let's say a math problem. 1 + 1 is 2. That's a yes. How does that feel in your body? How does that show up? And then, listen, experience. It's subtle. It takes practice. And then do that with a no question. Ask a question that you know the answer is wrong. And
Mm,
I find that helpful to know what is yes and what is no.
yeah. Those are really good tips because we really, and Marisol spoke about that in the previous, and one of the 2 episodes ago, around that, sitting in that confidence in your discernment of what's good and what's bad. Yeah. It takes a while, doesn't it? It does take a while.
Yep. Mhm.
Sometimes I have to get hit by a by a Mack truck to go, oh, that was a no. I
That
shouldn't
was
have gone there.
not no.
Yeah. Oh, well, this has been such a pleasure to hear all about your story and your journey and those incredible lucky veterans that are in that ICU hospital receiving your beautifully powerful hands-on healing touch. And I'm excited where the future of this is heading, all throughout all hospitals, and hopefully this training gets approved and funded in every hospital in the world. We'll probably empty the hospitals, wouldn't we?
Be amazing.
Yeah, recovery time cut down, hospitals saving money, people having these miraculous healings, and yeah, all from the power of the beautiful energy that's around us. So thank you, Laura, and I look forward to connecting with you again.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.